Hi everybody, Cat Clausen here. Welcome to my studio. I'm working on this painting, which I'm getting close to finishing. And I think I'm going to do kind of an orange coat on this one. So right now I'm mixing some orange paint. This way, by just holding up the brush, I can see how this color is going to work or not work. I might just add a little bit of warm red to this orange. Just to kind of see, I think that color is going to work better if you can see the difference. One thing I can do is kind of keep the color on a palette knife close at hand. So far I'm pretty happy with color choice. Some people have been asking me, how would Lincoln handle this COVID-19 crisis? And I think that what he would do, his leadership style was to talk with all parties involved, especially his trusted cabinet members. If he needed to get information from the front lines, he'd always select someone he trusted to collect that information. He'd gather it all and then make a decision based on the best intelligence he could come up with. So the style I'm working in is my ribbons of color style. That is done with a brush, not palette knife. It's actually one of the first styles I ever practiced. Right now I'm just cleaning off the brush, getting ready for a color change. I'm thinking about the bow tie and what color I should make that. Possibly a pink would work. Sometimes just to keep still, it's better not to talk right during the stroke, because your body actually moves a bit as you talk. One of the best things to do when you really need to do something precise is to breathe in, hold your breath, breathe a little of it out, make the stroke on that exhale. I think what I'm going to need in between the pink and the orange is probably a color break. And I think the blue might be a good idea. So this is, I've picked up a phthalo turquoise. Probably need to put some white in it. That can actually make it brighter. You might think, well, why not just straight out rich color? Sometimes it almost appears black if you do that. Here we are with a nice rich tone. Sometimes too, I'll just narrow the brush by tapping the edges. It really is fun to paint. In some ways, it's kind of like an extreme sport because as you're doing it, your mind really can't wander. I often like to think about someday someone will own this and they'll look at that, and just for them, I want it to be as good as it can be. Because they'll spend a lot of time enjoying it over the years. Probably much more time looking at it than I will spend looking at it. Now I'm using baby oil in between to clean off the brush, which is really nice. It's non-toxic. There's no need to be using turpentine, which is hard on you and the environment. Now I think this white works pretty well. I'm going to go back in to the neck. It worked well to kind of feather that, so I don't want to lose those strokes. Actually, sometimes working small takes even longer than working large, just because everything is precise. Sometimes you don't have a brush quite small enough. Now I do need to figure out what I'm going to do down here for color. Actually, a pink might work. Again, you can kind of mix one up and then put it down there and say, hey, do I like that or not? I'm going to put a little bit of white in it to boost the brightness. Always got to be able to see where you're going. Now down here where it's rough, this is actually covered up by the frame, so I don't have to worry about that. I've got this triangular piece, and I think I'll make that another color break. Maybe a bright yellow. That seems to feel right. Like, yeah, you know, I think that'll work. So you can kind of start on the inside and then move to that outside edge. Normally I would pick this painting up and do this, but because I'm filming it, I want to keep it in a position where you can see it. Okay. Pretty happy with that. So I use baby oil to clean up, as I said, and then just a tissue like this to pull off that yellow color. I see a little bit of turquoise. And that's part of this collar. Actually, this time I think I'm gonna have to move this so I can get in. Nice thing about the oil paints is they're still pretty wet from yesterday, not really wet. I can still feel that edge right there from yesterday. I probably can blend that back in. It's kind of got a curl in his hair right here. So I want to fill in the background. And then I can come back, make that curl a little bit bigger. There we go. So I've used a binder clip to hold this. All right, now I need to go back and fill in some of that hair. You can hear some of the paint brushes in the background. Okay. Kind of wispy, just like hair is. Just kind of make it look natural. Lincoln did not worry about his appearance. I would say that was probably the last thing on his mind. Probably got dressed, stuffed a hat on his head, and walked out the door, ready to get the job done. I don't even think he combed his hair, honestly. It's pretty crazy. Here's a trick you can do. You can separate the brush bristles like that and then pick up color that's there and make it look like really thin beard hair there on the face. I always pick a brush that's about the size of the area you need to paint. That way you can be efficient. Now, I just put out some new white, and I'm going to attempt to go in and paint this collar. So you can see how I move it so I can see where I'm going. So all these colors right by this collar are wet. So don't really want to go in there and touch those. Now if I do run along the orange like that, touching it, just to make that edge nice, I just clean off the brush and then come back in, clean up again. That's pretty well done. Now he's got the other side of his collar over here. With white just being the, not really showing up a whole lot of color, sometimes it's nice to have some brush strokes within the white for interest. All right, so that's getting pretty well done. Some finishing touches. And I think that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If so, mark the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Take it easy, everybody. Love you. Bye.